Hey y'all, welcome back to Joyful Living. I am so excited to have you all here for our final week in fitness. So, we have had a long couple weeks of great information. I have been excited to share my personal fitness journey. I've been excited to dissect some of your fitness journeys. And I want to talk about today how that translates into real life. Because as much as fitness is important and as much as discipline is important, it's not just about one area of your life. So I have my notes here. I want to stay on track, make sure we're hitting all the important points. So if you see me looking over there, that's why. And this week's title is Transition Your Mindset and Translate Your Discipline. One of the blessings that I have with fitness is that it is something that is challenging. It is something that I get to do with people. It is something that grows me in so many ways. You cannot be dedicated to your fitness journey and not grow. It's damn near impossible. It's dang near impossible to be dedicated to your fitness journey and to not grow. So, fitness isn't just about changing your body. It's about changing your mindset and growing your discipline. And that translates to every area of your life. Right? That's more than just one thing. So I want to talk about that today because I believe a lot of these really important life skills are transferable and they need to be transferred, right? We need to learn that we can do hard things. I'm definitely going to talk about my journey with that. But with this, it's more than just a decision. It's more than just transferable skills. It's an identity shift. So whenever I first started, I was a very active person growing up, and so I always saw myself as an athlete, but I wasn't really dedicated to it. Whenever I left that space, I kind of put it down and put it to the side, and that was it. But whenever I started back up again, my identity shifted. I was no longer just the girl that danced, or no longer just the athlete, or just the girl that went to school for, dance, or the girl that taught dance. I was a fitness, I was a gym, I call myself a gym rat now a little bit. I'm a person that does fitness and has a fitness journey and takes that seriously. And if you've been showing up to the gym consistently, you're building that discipline already, right? You're building that identity. I'm going to use this example because it popped in my head. I used to smoke for a long while. I used to smoke. And I identified as a smoker. I was somebody who smoked. That was my identity. Now, being 2+ years sober, that's not my identity anymore. I had an identity shift. As somebody who, was a smoker, and now when I think about it or I'm around people that smoke, it's neither here nor there for me. But that's not what I do because I'm not a smoker. Me in this current moment, that's not what I do. That's not who I am. And that was a choice. It was a choice over time, but it was an identity shift. And so in the same way that those identity shifts happen in your daily life, they also happen in your fitness. Are you somebody that eats right, that stays active, that works out, that is healthy? Is that who you are? So whenever you do an identity shift, whenever you shift your identity, it is more than just one decision. It is more than just one choice or one habit. It is consistent habits, consistent choices, consistent decisions over time. So that is part of the beauty of a fitness journey in my mind, especially mine, and I think other people too, is I never saw myself as somebody who was a really strong lifter or really active in the gym. I was always active outside of it, and it wasn't necessarily a consistent part of my life. I just loved to dance. I wanted to be involved. I loved to play sports with my brothers. But ever since getting really serious and getting a trainer and staying in the gym, almost 2 years now, it's a part of my identity, And when you start making that part of your identity, you can prove to yourself that you can do hard things. I want to show you that having a strong fitness presence and making fitness a priority in your life doesn't just make you healthier. It doesn't just make you feel better. It makes you more disciplined. It challenges you as a person. It expands your longevity. It expands your mindset. I talk about this in my fitness journey, the first video I did of this month. Even if nothing had changed body-wise, it would have been worth it to me because it changed my mindset. If it had just changed my mindset and nothing else, it would have been worth it to me because there were so many times I was dying in the gym. It was always like, you're wanting me to lift 100 pounds, you wanted me to do this, you wanted me to do what? Like, there were so many times in the gym when I literally just felt like, there's no way on earth I'm going to do this. There's no way I'm going to be able to lift this. There's no way I'm going to be able to push through. And in those moments when I pushed through, the only feeling I can describe is like excitement. I felt proud. And you build trust with yourself in the gym. Like, you build trust, you learn your body, you learn your limits. You learn what works for you and what doesn't. You learn how to take care of yourself. So it's important to you to prove that you can do hard things. Like, that is one of the biggest things I've gained from the gym, is that your mind plays tricks on you. Your mind is the thing that is telling you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you don't belong here, that you can't pull that off, or, getting away from fitness, you can't start that business. You can't make that much money. You can't live by yourself and pay your own bills. It's always the mind that lies to you. Right? And if you want to get really into it and go on the faith side, it's really honestly the devil. Because the devil is the father of lies, and he'll whisper those in your ear. But that's where I build my strength, is in the gym and in the Word. We're not going to necessarily we'll talk about faith a little bit. But even on the days you don't feel like it, especially on the days that you don't feel like it, every time that you show up, when you show up to the gym, there's been many days when I'm just like, I get out of bed and I'm like, oh, because I do early morning workouts. And honestly, if I didn't do early morning workouts, I feel like I would talk myself out of the gym. I feel like I would do a really good job of talking myself out of working out, which is why it's the first thing I do when I wake up. But even on the days that you don't feel like it and you still show up, that's pride, that you have for yourself. Not an unhealthy pride, but like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I can do hard things. I can show up when it's hard. I can show up when I don't feel like it. Because if you only showed up when you felt like it, you would be so inconsistent, right? And like I said, that's not just about fitness, but that's self-trust. Can you trust yourself to show up when things get hard? Can you trust yourself to take on a challenge, to do something new, to be consistent? Like, for example, I've done different social media things. I've tried to stay consistent in posting and all these things. I really enjoy this channel. And I know there's like 50 something of you right now that have subscribed. And that feels like 100,000 in my eyes, because this is just something I decided to do just in my apartment alone. But this is something fun. I mean, I've been consistent. I haven't missed. Not just because I want to stay true to it and show up for it, but because I'm actually enjoying what I do. And so every time I show up for you guys, I'm actually showing up for myself. And it feels good. It feels good to share. It feels good to talk about this. It feels good to give you those mindsets, because while I'm talking about this and talking through it with you, I'm reinforcing it within myself. So it's a blessing on both sides. So that same discipline that you use in the gym can and will spill over. It can and will spill over to other areas of your life. It's hard to be disciplined in one area of your life and not in the others. Like, for example, when you're working out in fitness, if you're really, staying consistent and staying active, it's really hard to, not be disciplined in your sleep. It's really hard to not be disciplined in your stretching and your recovery, because you can definitely injure yourself. And it's really hard to not be disciplined in your food. If you're eating like shit, excuse my French, if you're eating terribly and you're drinking all the time, nothing against alcohol, but when I drink, I feel it, and I don't drink that much. It's not like a daily thing, but like when I do drink, I'm like, oh my God, I know that it's going to affect things later on. So I try to monitor it, or manage and do it in moderation, because I know that the results are going to be, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to feel terrible, and then I'm going to have to go to the gym and feel even worse. So when you start putting discipline in one area of your life, it's hard for it not to spill over. When you start building that mindset of I can do hard things, I can show up when it gets difficult, I'm building trust in myself, it's hard for you to not have it spill over to other areas of your life. My confidence, not that I wasn't confident before, because I was fairly confident in myself, but there was parts of myself where I didn't really trust 100% that I was going to show up all the time, that I was going to do hard things. Like I didn't keep my word to myself in small areas, right? Not like I'm doing crazy things. But ever since starting at the gym, I know that when it counts and I need to show up, I'll be there. I know that when I need to do hard things or take on a new challenge, that I can do that. So ask yourself, because this isn't just for me to talk. This is for me to help get some thoughts going in your brain. What else do I need to put this same energy into? Like, where else do I need this same energy? Is it in my career? Is it in my friendships? Is it in my faith? Do I need to start building in a routine and discipline, spending time in the Word and spending time with God? I've kind of lost that recently. I'm going to be honest. I've kind of lost that lately because I've been doing a lot more fitness. And I feel it. I feel a difference when I'm not on that time. And when I do get to spend that time with God, it's like a breath of fresh air. Where are you making excuses? Outside the gym or inside the gym? For me, I'm going to be honest, I like food. I like food. It gets really hard whenever I go out and people are inviting me out and there's food there and, alcohol or sweets. Like, oh my God, sweet tooth galore. Me and a piece of chocolate. Like, but where are you still making excuses? Where are you still letting things slide? You have to have discipline. You have to keep the promises you make to yourself. Like, for example, I was walking through getting some odds and ends groceries the other night. I think it was Wednesday. And I was like browsing the produce and, the chocolate cake is on the way. And I was like eyeing the cake. And I was like looking at the 50% off baked goods. And I was like grabbing things and I was like, but you know what? I didn't buy any cake. Now, I did get dark chocolate, but it's a step up because it's not 800 calories. It's 170 calories for 4 pieces of dark chocolate. And I'll only give myself a set number a day. So it's a step up. Is it complete and total discipline? No, I'm not going to lie to you. I still struggle with that. That's a hard thing for me. So I just want to be honest and say it's going to translate, but is there a disconnect, right? If you build it in your fitness, it's going to bleed over. Another thing, we're going to get into some real life applications here. For you, not for me. We're done talking about me for now, hopefully. Your finances. Are you as consistent with your money as you are with your workouts? Do you budget? Do you save? Do you categorize your spending? Right? Are you being consistent and disciplined in how much you eat or where you eat? I'm not trying to police you. This is not about me telling you to do things a certain way. This is me pointing out areas that you may have weakness. You may be killing it in the food category and eating right and all that stuff, but finances, you may not be able to say no to Amazon's 1-day shipping. And I say this as I'm waiting for something that I'm getting shipped from Amazon. Now, granted, I need it for fitness stuff, but you know what I mean? Are you tracking and being intentional and saying no when needed in regards to money? You could also say in regards to food. You could also say in regards to sleep. Are you tracking your sleep? Are you being intentional and getting those hours a day? If you know that you're not going to be a nice person if you get under 7 hours a day or 7 hours a night and somebody comes up asking you to stay up late and compromise your sleep routine, are you going to honor what you know you need? Or are you going to sacrifice your needs because of something else or someone else or what you want, right? This is not just about short-term gratification. An instant gratification is a killer of long-term progress in anything. So these are just things to be aware of. In your faith, like I was talking about earlier, do you show up for your faith like you show up for the gym? Do you show up for God? Do you go every Sunday? It's not even really about just going on Sundays, because you can go on Sundays and never have a relationship with God. Do you show up and spend time in the Word and get to hear God's voice if that's who you are, if you're a believer? Or do you only do it when you feel like it? Oh, I feel like going to church today. Oh, well, it's Easter, so I'll pull up on Easter. Right? You can be in this area of asking for something and not preparing for it. Wanting something and not being disciplined enough. I was watching a video the other day, and it was like, this girl like praying so hard. She's like, I'm praying so hard, God, that I don't miss the train. But you can't just pray not to miss the train. You also have to get in your car, drive over there, get there at a reasonable hour, walk through the check-in, and get to the train station. God can't teleport you onto the train, right? You have to pray. I mean, you don't have to. You can pray for it, but you have to do the actions that are going to help you get there. You know what I mean? So if God's going to take you 90% of the way, are you doing that 10% in your faith, right? For your career, are you putting in reps towards your goals daily? And this is one, feeling a little fire on this one. Are you doing things like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, or if you're trying to build a business, or if you're self-employed, or if you're trying to move up the corporate ladder, or if you're trying to make more money, what are you doing every day to focus on your goals, to put time and energy towards your future? And even now saying that, I feel called out, because I'm in this season where I think everything is getting elevated, but it's little by little. And I'm not tracking it as much as I could. And that's definitely something I'm going to look at after this call. Are you doing that all the time? Are you looking at your goals? Are you staying consistent? Or are you just only doing it when you're motivated? Right? I'm not expecting perfection. And I don't want you to just expect perfection either. I just want you to have awareness. Because without knowing where you are, you don't know how far you have to go. You know what I mean? Relationships. Are you consistent in how you show up for people? Or are you only showing up when it's convenient? I'm not even talking about romantic relationships, honestly. I mean, yes, that's a part of it. We'll talk about those eventually. But community, friendships. Are you staying consistent with the people that love you? Right? Are you staying motivated to be, like, everybody wants a village, but nobody wants to be a villager. And what I mean by that is whenever the time comes and you need help because a family member passed away, or you just had a new baby, or you're going through a really rough breakup, or, anything of the above, you want people to be there for you and show up for you and cover those gaps and hold you and tell you it's going to be okay. When your friends go through those same things, are you doing that same thing? For example, I had a really good friend of mine. She decided, it was time for her and her boyfriend to break up because they were just going separate ways, and she had to honor what she knew. And it was hard. I mean, it was the right choice, but it was still hard for her. But you best believe I was shopping for something. I was shopping for new shoes. I get a call from my other best friend, like our girlfriend, and she said, hey, so-and-so is about to break up with her boyfriend. It's like an emergency. Can you come here? Can you come down and show up for her? I have never left a store so fast. I was like, yeah, what do you need? Do you need me to stop by and pick up something? Got her a margarita mix, already included with the alcohol, and chips and sweets. Just something, $15, I think. Nothing crazy. This is not to say like, oh, look at me, but it's to say like, are you showing up in that way? Right? Are you being disciplined in your friendships? Are you showing up for other people? Or are you just expecting to be shown up for? Or are you just expecting things to just happen? And I know that's not necessarily the point of this video, but I just want to point these things out because we can get so caught up in our own worlds that we forget that other people have their own worlds too. They have their own lives. They have their own difficulties. And that's part of discipline. That's part of building an identity that you're proud of and being somebody that you're proud of, right? So here's an honest check-in. Are you disciplined in the gym? If no, that's a great starting point. And if yes, you're disciplined in the gym, are you still making excuses in other areas? Is it I'll do it next time, or I'll start tomorrow, or it's not that serious, or I'll just have this one piece of cake? Like, where are you falling short in your discipline that you could start adding this mindset? It's a mindset. Your mindset is everything. How you approach life is everything. You can either be a victim to your circumstances and to your life, or you can be a victor over your circumstances. Let's try that again. As hard as it is for me to believe, I know that all these things, even when they're difficult and tough and frustrating, happen for me. They don't happen to me. You know, you decide how you show up. You decide how things play out in your life and how you react to that and how you show up and what your discipline looks like. So here's something to think about. This is the truth of being active or just life in general. Like, we're going beyond fitness here, right? This is a beyond fitness topic. Inside and outside of the gym, when you don't follow through, you stop trusting yourself. When you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't, you stop trusting your words. Oh, I'm going to walk today, or I'm going to run today, or I'm not going to eat that piece of cake today, or I'm going to show up for my friend today. Whatever it is. Or I'm going to show up for my friend today. Whatever it is. When you don't trust yourself, that's where doubt, inconsistency, and frustration come from. Oh yeah. When you don't trust yourself to follow through, when you don't trust your word, I've lived that life and I hated it. Not because I was this terrible person that was trying to hurt people, but because I was lost and inconsistent and I made excuses. And I didn't have a strong mindset. I wasn't disciplined. I was very much like, I'm going to do what feels good in the moment, regardless of how it affects me in the long run. And in some areas, I'm still paying for that. You know? So is it worth it? That's just all I want to say. The opposite of that, when you do follow through, you become someone that you can be proud of. You become someone you can be confident in. I trust in my ability to make decisions. I trust in my ability to show up when I don't want to show up. I trust in my ability to do hard things. And that's how you build your self-worth. That's how you build your identity. That's how you become somebody beyond the gym, beyond fitness, who you are proud to be. Are you proud to be the person that you are right now? Or are you fed up with your excuses? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Like, I'm doing okay, but I could be doing better. I feel like I toggle between, I feel like I haven't really gotten fed up with myself in a big way in a while. Maybe about a couple things. But for the most part, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm doing the best I can, but I feel like I know even still, I'm not really. I can do better, right? We can always do better. So in closing, if you can stay consistent in your fitness, it's an easy transition to stay consistent in your life. The discipline you're building in the gym right now, allow it to bleed into every area of your life. It's a blessing. Discipline is a blessing. Being able to move your body is a blessing, even if it doesn't feel like that sometimes. I am so sore. I had a heavy leg day yesterday. Whoo, Lord. But what a blessing for me to have gotten my butt handed to me, and for me to be so sore from fitness, from pushing myself, from challenging myself. When you go back to the first day of this new program and I wanted to quit, and now I feel like I can really do this thing. Tough? Yes. Fun? Also yes. Disciplined? Feeling proud of myself? Absolutely. So, last little bit. Don't just keep it in the gym. Apply it to your money. Apply it to your faith. Apply it to your goals. Because at the end of the day, you're not just building your body, you're building your life. And that is one of the most important things that you'll ever do. And I promise if you can really start getting consistent and disciplined in the gym, you will become a whole new person. It's a blessing. And you all are a blessing to me. Thank you so much for joining me for this week of Joyful Living. I am toggling between 2 topics for next month. So you guys will have to find out next week what that's going to be. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for being here.